Hi guys, welcome back to my studio. I am working on some more of these altered cards for our altered card challenge. If you're not familiar with the challenge, go back to the first video and get all the scoop. Here's a synopsis of. Okay, this is a pretty quick one. So I started out with another one of my Old Maid cards, and I sanded the face of it a little bit just to knock some of the shine off, so Pablo lost a little bit of his name. And I am just going to skip the gesso and go to my matte medium. And the background paper that I'm using is just part of an ad from a magazine. When I harvest images from magazines, I also just kind of look at pieces that might have parts that would make good background papers. So I don't know what the ad was for, but it was just like this cool blue background with buildings and columns and lights and stuff in the background, gates. So that's what I'm starting with. I like the colors. And I thought the graphics were kind of interesting for in the background. And I grabbed my corner cutter and I'm just trying to even up the corners of the paper with the corners of the card. But since I didn't dry it first, got a flyer. Didn't want to cut very well. So then I go on the hunt for there's the magazine page. I just wanted to show you it was from a magazine. Going on the hunt for something to add to this now because I don't have anything planned. And I decided that I wanted to soften up that background a little bit, soften it and lighten it. So I'm just using some high flow acrylic in Titan Buff. And I just watered it down a little bit and just applying some paint just kind of randomly. And then I'm just going to very softly kind of blot it with a baby wipe and just kind of get a softer, more mottled, kind of cloudy looking background. I wanted to still be able to see everything on that paper, but I wanted it just kind of lighter and a little more obscure. I think that did the trick. And then just gonna give it a dry. I have learned to use that little pokey tool to hold things down every once in a while so that it didn't fly away. And then I just wanted to do the same thing kind of on the back of the card, so put some Titan Buff on there as well. And I took one of those cashier tickets that I got from the Mad Fox and just used parts of it to cut a couple of elements that I wanted to add to the card. I just tore the top part off that had the numbers on it, and then I cut a heart out of the center part. I'm just going to get those down with matte medium. This one came together really, really fast. Now I have just a little stamp from Echo Park. It's like there's a globe in the center and a clock around the outside, but it's so small you can barely tell what it is. It looks more like a flower. And I have watering can, archival ink color watering can. And at first I thought, okay, I'm just going to stamp on top of those papers that I added and then add a couple in the background. And then I liked it so well, I thought, you know, I'm covering this whole background with this stamp because the gray just kind of melted into the blue and I liked it, so I covered the whole thing. That's the stamp set that I used, Echo Park Paper Company. And then I have this pretty blue butterfly stamp that came on a metallic gold envelope in the mail to me, and I saved it. So I just cut that out with the edging of the gold around it, and I'm going to put that down. And then I have another orange butterfly that I think is Tim Holtz ephemera, and I'm just going to echo those two butterflies on the front there, just putting it down with matte medium. So there it is so far. And then after I put that orange butterfly down, I thought, okay, I'm going to use the orange as my accent color. And I just decided to take that distress crayon and go around the outside edges, because I knew I could just get a faint orange by activating that distress crayon. So that's what I did. And then I went over the heart paper too, and just kind of went around the edges and kind of dabbed it here and there on the back. And then after I stopped, I thought, gee, I should have probably put some of that orange on the white behind that blue butterfly. So I got the distress crayon back out and just went with the damp brush right onto the crayon and kind of dabbed it to get kind of a modelly orange color behind that butterfly. And I also colored some of there's like a white edge around the orange butterfly, and I just put a little bit there too, just to make it not appear so white. Then I grabbed a piece of drywall tape and just put that down in that bottom corner where there wasn't anything. And I'm liking it, but it needed something, so I grabbed a piece of punchinella or sequin waste and thought I would just put some faint dots on there. So I am using tea dye distress paint, and I'm just gonna get some of that on there and some dots here and there. It's funny, that pile of paint keeps flashing out to like bright yellow. That's right about where my overhead light was hitting my glass mat. But I think that was just enough just to add a little bit down that right hand side. And then I just used what was left in my stencil brush to go over that drywall tape. So fast. And I just punched the hole and set the eyelet. So that's altered card number 2 for our altered card challenge. And it's going on the ring with my number 1 card. I think I'm going to start marking these on the back with the numbers or the date or something, so I can remember what order I made them in. So that's it. If you like this altered card, give this video a thumbs up. Join in the challenge, and in the meantime, go make a card. Bye.